You guys are going to make me cry over there, okay? I need some tissues. Very emotional morning. Very emotional morning. I love you. Can somebody give me some tissues? Seriously, I wasn't joking about the crying part. I'm having a tough morning. Help me out. I woke up. Thank you. These poor folks back here, everybody's been so supportive. I first woke up this morning and first of all, you know when you do these events, you go to bed really late. Really late. Most people are like, oh, go get your sleep. You're right. It's like 4:30 every morning. And then you wake up at 6 o'clock and you do hair and makeup, right? So you don't get much sleep. Then I went to go take a shower. And somebody forgot to put the shampoo and the body soap back in my bathroom. The body gel, the orange body gel, which I can't live without. So I was in the shower trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I was very frustrated. You're stuck because you really can't go out to go get anybody to help you. And my poor husband kept me up all night because he has a chest cough. So he was coughing, which is why he's not sitting out here, because I refused to let him come out here. I made him sit in the back and take care of himself. So I know you're watching back there, honey. It's all good. And then, of course, I've been struggling with a sore throat for 3 days, but we're getting through it. So I need your energy this morning. You got me? You got me? So, are you ready for me? Oh my God. I love you guys. Love you guys. You guys are amazing. You know, there's so much that happens to make this event happen. And I always say to people, like, you think the hard part's being up here. This is the easy part. You know what I mean? It's the easy part. Who has never been on this stage before or down here? Give me a hand. Never been on this stage. Can you come up here for a second? No, just for 1 second. Yep, you. Yeah, you. Come over here. Can I have a microphone for him real quick? Sorry, I forgot to fill you guys in backstage. Hi, how are you?
Luis, nice to meet you.
What's your first name?
Luis.
Louis. Say hi to Louis, everybody. Say hi to Louis. Now, Louis, are you nervous?
A little bit.
Yeah, I understand. Me too. Are you nervous?
A little bit.
Yeah,
Yep.
I get it. Here's the thing, though. It wasn't that hard to walk up here, was
No,
it?
it wasn't.
This is the easy part. The hard work happens behind the scenes. It's called the process. Louis, thank you. I want to, by the way, next time you're going to be up here making a lot of money, right?
Right, absolutely. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. My point is, it's not hard to walk on stage. This is actually the easy part. People say, well, do you get nervous? Generally, I don't, but for some reason today, I was having all types of anxiety issues. Probably because Jared was sick and, you know, I didn't have any shampoo and body gel and that stressed me out. You know what I mean? And then, of course, my daughter's sending me messages about the virus and this got me stressed out. I told her, could you please stop? I need to be focused this morning. She told me about the first American, this and that. I'm like, stop. Everybody stop. Then they made me change mic 3 times. It's been a morning. Here's the deal. It's a new year. We have a new chance. We have a new chance. It's a new year. It's a new year. We have a new chance. Now's the perfect time for you to shine. Now's the perfect time for you to shine. I love seeing you guys right there. I love you. Now's the perfect time for you to shine, right, Tom? Shine bright like a diamond, guys. Give yourself a new beginning. It's time to be a leader. I am forever grateful for all of you in this incredible company because we've had the opportunity to create a healthier and happy world. Think about that. Think about the impact you're making on people every single day with our products. With our products, with our opportunity. You guys are here. Give yourselves a round of applause. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Is today Saturday? Saturday. Thank you, Tom. It's It's Saturday. How many people do you know be sitting in a giant arena, pulling together because we're all entrepreneurs, fighting for the same mission, believing the same things? You guys are doing that. You guys are doing that. You guys are doing that. You're sitting here on a Saturday when you could be outside playing, doing other things in South Beach. But guess what? They might not be going where we're going, but where we're going lies freedom. Where we're going lies freedom. Trust me. Where we're going lies freedom. You know what? The biggest mistake we make in life is to believe that we have time. To believe we have time. We think that we're never going to run out of time. And we don't know when we run out of it. It's the thing that frustrates me the most. That's why we say never go to bed with somebody that you love mad. Never go to bed mad. Hug your kids at night. Hug your husband or your wife at night. Tell them how much you love them every day. I tell my family I love them 100 times a day. I know I'm so annoying sometimes. And if they don't say it back to me, I'm like, did you forget to say it back to me? Like, don't you know we love you? I just want to hear it. Tell people you love them. Look around you and tell people you love them. Yes. Yes. Love you. Love you. Love you guys. Okay. There's a lot of love in here. A lot of love in here. Okay. Hey, hey, hey. Yes. Okay. I love you guys. Now here. Okay. I'm still up here, guys. Hello. Okay. So, there will come a time and a day that you will run out of time. Last night, JR and I and Andrew and Mark found out we lost a dear friend, 25 years, 56 years old, woke up on Wednesday morning, had a pain in his heart, found out at 11 o'clock last night, went down on the floor, and I was thinking about Eddie Elsner this morning because we have a long history, all of us together as friends. You know, we spent lots of Wednesday nights together, right, Mark and Andrew, and a lot of fun, and he was a great guy. He was a day trader in the day, and he did really well early on in his 30s and 40s, but then he took a dive when the market took a dive, and he never recovered. And the thing is, he kind of resented the world for it. And it always pained me to watch him in pain. It always pained me to watch him in pain. My good friend, Sharif Malnick, who I know is watching right now, who owns the very famous Forge here in Miami, he was talking to me about it yesterday, and he said, gosh, I feel like we've shared so many memories with him, yet we couldn't get him right. And the thing is, you can only do so much to help people. People also have to help themselves. People also have to help themselves. And while I love Eddie and I'll miss Eddie, the pain went on for so long. And so instead of being in competition with his past, he was in competition with everybody around him, which is the wrong thing to do. You need to outdo your past. You need to outdo your past. You need to outdo your past, not everybody else around you. You need to outdo your past, guys. And when he died, and I found out last night, I thought, I don't know how to fix everybody. You try, but you can't fix everybody. And it's a reminder that life is short. We don't know when he's gonna call us. There's no warning. Nobody sends you a memo and says, it's your day. Snap. That's it, like Tom Holden just said, snap. While you're living, do something with your life. Do something with your life while you're living. You know, I said this before, as a child, we can do anything. Nothing can stop us. You learn to walk, no problem. Think about that. You learn to walk as a child, and you don't have a single problem, do you? Sure, you get up and fall down. Sure, you get up and fall down. Sure, you get up and fall down. But you don't reach over to mama and say, hey, mama, this walking thing's not for me. I'm not doing it anymore. You just get up and do it. And you live your life the same way. You get that? You get that? I just want you to live your life the same way. When you learn to ride a bike, what do you say? Hey, look, Mom, no hands. Isn't that what you do? Andy, look, Mom, no hands. Learn to swim, that's easy, I can do it. You see, the older we get, the fear sets in. Problem is you feel like you have to know everything before you do anything. And you end up doing nothing. Because you think you need to know how to do everything before you do anything, you end up doing nothing. Let me tell you something. The fact that you're here means you're gonna try. It means that you care. I know you guys have it in you. You didn't come here for nothing. You came here to make this happen with me. In order to swim, folks, we gotta get wet. We gotta get wet, don't we? You know, some people say, well, how can I believe in a company like Market America when I haven't been in that long? Let me tell you something right now. Your belief has nothing to do with the company, and it has everything to do with you. Everything to do with you. Stop making excuses. This isn't about the company, how long you've been involved. It has everything to do with your heart. And the longest distance is from here to here. The longest distance is from here to here, your head to your heart. And if those two don't connect, the magic doesn't happen. Make sure, that's right, baby, make sure your goals are aligned. Make sure you know what your wants are, why you want it, so you can go and get it. Ask yourself, am I really doing what I want to do right now with this company? Can I do more? It's 2020. You got a new chance. But I want you to work on the things that have made you weak. So today I'm going to talk to you about working your weakness. I want you to work your weakness. Now, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes, but don't let that panic you. If you don't know what your weakness is, I'm sure you can call a friend and they'll be happy to tell you. That's right. Call your friends and they'll be happy to tell you. By the way, Joe and Melissa Gorga, any Real Housewives of New Jersey fans here? My good friends, Joe and Melissa Gorga are here. They just came in town. Happy to have you guys. Listen, we're going to work those weaknesses. Because here's the thing. If we're not working on the things that make us weak, we're using them as a crutch. And we're doing nothing. And that's not what I want you to do. You see, I have lots of weaknesses too, and I'm going to share them with you today because I want you to understand, for some reason, some of you have this impression that this corporate team, and I know Mark Ashley looks great, but he's got weaknesses too. He said a lot. My point is this whole corporate team has weaknesses. We all do. We all have weaknesses, and we all have to work on them every single day. And here's the thing. It's a process. And guess what? Every day, you will always be part of the process. Right, Steve? You cannot change it. You never get to the end of the process, just so you guys know, do you, Stacy? Never get to the end. And when you die, guys, guess what? You're going to die with an inbox. There will still be things in that inbox, Mark Ashley. Because this guy never takes a break. This president of yours never takes a moment for himself. You better get up for him, because let me tell you something. I have never seen a president in my life who works more than Mark Ashley. Ever. Ever. I have never seen a president work harder in my life. Good morning, Sarah. Morning, honey. Let me tell you, that's right. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Backstage, instead of him enjoying the moment of how amazing he was when he commanded the stage for the last 2 days, amazing, he was worried about how many emails he hasn't gotten back to for you. It's true. And I don't want him to feel that way. And I'm hoping that this is going to help him too. Today we're going to work our weakness, okay? Today we're going to work our weakness. One of my fears, one of my weaknesses, that I was afraid to fly for a long time. But I did it every single week, no matter what, with one exception. We have this beautiful little house, and when I say little house, it's a little house. It's a little bungalow in Cat Cay, Bahamas, and it's mine and JR's sanctuary. We don't allow staff to come there and work. We don't let people do our laundry. We don't let people cook for us. We don't let people clean. Elizabeth's been there before. We do all the work ourselves because it's the only place we can have some space and privacy. The only place. It's a very special place for us. It takes about 2 hours to get there on Utopia 4, our boat, and that's how we travel there. And we used to go every weekend when the weather was right. The problem was the location of the house was restricted for me by the weather. Meaning, if the water wasn't safe to travel and over 4 foot of seas, I didn't get to go to my house. And that meant that JR and I didn't get a break. That meant we still had to stay in a house with people around us all the time. Not that we don't love people, but you need privacy. You need to be able to take care of yourselves, care for yourselves. So lately, over the last couple years, the water's been rougher out in the Gulf Stream. And if you've ever traveled in the Gulf Stream, you'll know it can quickly turn up. And what you think could be 4 feet could be 7 feet, and you're stuck out there in a mess. You don't want that to happen to you. So I always look at the weather in advance. And the weather dictated when I got to go to my house. But if it was great, I'd go every weekend. It was great. I'd go on Friday, come home on Monday. Go home on Friday, come home on Monday. Didn't matter because I could work wherever I was. JR, we have 30 houses on this private island where our home is, and we have a little runway strip for little, what I call milk run airplanes. Those milk run airplanes have one propeller in the front. Occasionally they have 2. And they scare me, yes. Mark said 1. And Kevin is shaking his head because he's like me, afraid to fly, and we both feed all that anxiety to each other, which is a bad thing. It's called a weakness. Steve, too. Anyway, we got out to the Bahamas the weekend before Christmas, JR and I alone. First time we'd been alone in probably a year. We needed the time. We needed to be together. Jesus, I'm only on slide 2, and I've already been through 20 minutes. I mean, okay. Okay. You know I never pay attention to the slides. Anyway, we get out there, and we have to go home because I was going to meet David and Stacy for the GMTSS meeting, correct? What date was that? 14th of December. I couldn't miss that. I was so excited to be there with them and Phil. The weather turned up. And there was no way Captain Antonio was going to take me home. Captain Antonio, I love you. You're the best. There was no way that Captain was going to take me home in that weather. So the day finally came that JR said, Loren, you have 2 choices. 1, you can call David and Stacy and cancel. Or 2, you can get on that plane. Now keep in mind, I've never been on that plane my whole life. But I thought, if I'm going to try it, I'm going to try it without my children. So if anything goes wrong, they're not with me. So I said, you know what, JR, I'm going to go for it, but can I ask you a question? Can you tell me where all the money is so I could write Amber an email? And then I can call Mark and tell him where it all is so we're covered. And I'm not kidding you. I did all of that. I had to fix all the things that scared me in my mind in order to make myself get on that plane. For 20 years, I didn't go on that plane. And for 6 years that I owned that house, I restricted myself because of my weakness, my fear of flying on that little plane from going to the place that brought me the most joy. And I finally did it. And here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing. My fear of flying on that little plane had fed my own daughter her whole life. And she was afraid to fly too and had no reason other than I had instilled that fear in her. Don't do that. Don't do that. So let me tell you what I did. I got on that plane, shaking. Now, when I called and ordered the plane, funny story, the guy said, well, what kind of plane would you like? I said, I want one. Huh? No, that's not a G5, sweetie. That's called, a milk run. And the guy said, I was telling him, I want a plane that can land on the water or land. And he said, okay, so you want to land on the water? I said, no, sir, I do not want to land on the water. Absolutely not. What I want to do is only land on the water in case there's a problem landing on land. I definitely want to land on land. So could you give me both? He said they are hard planes to get. They either land on water or they land in the ground. I said, well, you find that plane, and he brought it in. It's a double-decker. It lands on water or lands on the ground, and I got on that plane, and here's the thing. It was a 22-minute flight for what felt like the longest. It felt like I was flying to the West Coast. But when I got there and I touched down, I felt the most incredible sense of achievement. The most incredible sense of achievement that I told David and Stacy and Phil. As soon as I landed, I said, I'm on my way to you. By the way, I'm alive. I made it. They had no idea what I was talking about. I'm here. I got here. I'm alive. I didn't crash. They were like, huh? Okay, we're going to see you soon. And then I called my child. I said, Amber, you won't believe it. I went on the milk run plane. It was amazing. I felt so comfortable. It was so smooth. I could feel like I touched the water, but I wasn't. You're going to love it. The kids are going to love it. The kids will go crazy. You can take videos. It's the best plane I'd ever been on. She said, really? When should we try? When should we try, Mom? After all those years of me making her fearful, all she needed to hear from me is that I did it. And then I made it, and it wasn't so scary after all. That it was all made up in my mind, and I fed everybody the same dinner every night of fear. Let's stop doing that. Let's pay attention to when we're doing that to each other, because we do. You see, time is short. It can't be bought. We can't negotiate with it. We can't negotiate with it. One day we're going to wake up, and there's going to be no more time. You remember this guy, the whole world shifted off of the strength of one human being. Your life is an extraordinary opportunity. Never forget that. Never forget that. It's being here now that's important. There's no past and there's no future. Time is a very misleading thing, isn't it? We can gain experience from it, but we can't relive it. We can hope for the future, but we don't really know if one exists. So that's why I want you to do something with the here and now. You see, as a young child, I learned how valuable time was at a very young age. At a very young age. You see, we were at home with my mother, my brothers, Mark and Steve, and I know they will remember this moment because we rarely watch this video because of it. You see, we were at home with my mother, and Mark and Steve and we were watching a speech on the ESPYs. Do you know what the ESPYs are? ESPN channel. Any sports fans in here? ESPN channel. And they have an awards show, right? They have an awards show. And they were giving away the Arthur Ashe Courage Award. And it was being given to a guy who was the coach of North Carolina State called Jimmy Valvano. Jimmy V. Do any of you know who he was? At any rate, they were giving Jimmy V the award, and he was at the end of his battle, wasn't he, with cancer? He was dying at any moment of cancer. He was going to die. He was 47 years old. And we watched that video, and we were sobbing. My mother took it especially hard. Let me play it for you real quick.
I don't know how much I have left, and I have some things that I would like to say. Hopefully, at the end, I'll have something that will be important to other people too. But I can't help it. Now when I'm fighting cancer, everybody knows that. And people ask me all the time about how you go through your life and how's your day. And nothing has changed for me, as Dick said. I'm a very emotional, passionate man. I can't help it. That's being the son of Rocco and Angelina Valvano. That just comes with the territory, right? We hug, we kiss, we love. And when people say to me, how do you get through life or each day, it's the same thing. To me, there are three things we all should do every day. If we do this every day of our life, you're going to have, what a wonderful, number one is laugh. You should laugh every day. Number two is think. You should spend some time in thought. And number three is you should have your emotions moved to tears. Could be happiness or joy. But think about it. If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day. You do that 7 days a week, you're going to have something special. And that screen is flashing up there 30 seconds like I care about that screen right now, huh? I got tumors all over my body. I'm worried about some guy in the back going 30 seconds, huh? You got a lot. Hey, phenomenal, buddy. You got a lot. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. And that's what I'm going to try to do. Every minute that I have left, I will thank God for the day and the moment I have. And if you see me, smile and maybe give me a hug, because that's important to me too.
And I see Mark and Steve very emotional because I didn't tell them I was going to do this. It's a very tough video for us. Let me explain to you why. As we watched that video, again, we found out 2 weeks later, Jimmy V died. He lost his battle with cancer. I hate cancer. I hate cancer. And we took it really hard. He's incredible, isn't he? And so I remember looking over at my mother, and she was sobbing. And I thought, wow, she's really taking this one hard. Because, you know, as kids, we're immature. You know, like, okay, Mom, relax. It's, you know, you didn't really know him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure that she had a bigger connection because of their age, right? She was 42, he was 47. And you think to yourself, like, how do you lose somebody so young? And she said, you know what, Loren, we got to do more with our life. Mark, we got to laugh more. Mark, we got to think more. Steve, we got to move ourselves to tears, be moved with emotion every day. We got to do more. And she said, I want to do more. And we said, Mom, you should. You should stop taking care of us all the time and do more for yourself. Jimmy Valvano died on April 28th, 1993, and my mother died the next day, April 29th, 1993. True story. And I understood the value of time at a very young age, and Mark and Steve did too. And I got to tell you, every day since then, I swore to myself I would do something. I would laugh more, I would live more, I would think more, and I would be moved to tears every single day. Every single day. I want you to do that. I want you to do that for you. You see, I'm sharing all my weaknesses with you today. I'm opening up. Everything I ever tell you is a true story. It's because the only way I know how to tell you. Because we're all going to go through pain. We're all going to go through pain. But let's make it work for us. Let's turn it into power. Let's turn it around and help people. Let's stop crippling our children like I did. Are we crippling our children? Let's lift them up. Let's create the belief that they can be and achieve anything they want. Anything you want. Look at these people over here. This young team. Colton. Look at Colton's team over here. All these young. Olivia Lee. Look at this. Min Lu lifting Olivia Lee up like she did. David and Stacy, you lifting Colton and Michaela up like you did. We have to bring our children up. We have to raise them up. We have to lift them up. We have to take away their fear. I hope my kids are better than me all the time. I want them better than me. And she is. And she is. You see, the fears we don't face become our limits. They become our limits. The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. I don't mean wait till tomorrow. I mean start today. You see, your life needs to be breaking down your own limits and outgrowing yourself. You are not in competition with anyone else. Plan to outdo your past, not other people. Forget other people. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys a question. And at first you're going to say no, and then I want you to think about it. Because the answer is going to be yes for everybody. It's true. How many of you have had something in your life? How many of you have something in your life today that was once a dream or a goal? Maybe it was a baby. Maybe it was a new job. Maybe it was a husband or a wife, a promotion, raise your hand, a business, a skill set, a healthy relationship, an income level. It could be anything. But you didn't think it was possible, but you achieved it, didn't you? Would you agree that almost everybody has experienced something like that, right? Yes? Okay. So I want you to think about that moment. You see, you thought it was impossible, but it wasn't. I bet you got excited. You researched it. You visualized it. You vocalized it. You asked a lot of questions, and you couldn't stop thinking about it till you got it. How many of you relate to that? How many of you relate to that? So you don't need me or anyone telling you how to make something happen. Chances are you've already done it. So just remember this. The first step to creating anything in your life is focus. Is focus. And unfortunately, in the world that we live in today that's dominated by social media and these screens, and I'm guilty too, these screens, these phones, these iPads, these computers have fragmented most of the time. And they've controlled our life. And because of it, we lose our concentration. Yet concentration is power. But because we live in a world of social media, because let me remind you about something about social media. Nobody ever posts their down days. They only post what's pretty behind the scenes. And because of these screens, our focus is scattered. And oftentimes we're losing power. We're losing our power. But when we concentrate our focus and deeply commit, something starts to happen. The impossible becomes possible. And I want you to think about how life was for just one moment without the screens, without the phone. I'm guilty too, just so you know. Over the last week, I have attempted to do something different, Andrew will tell you, and I've been off my phone or a screen for less than 4 hours a day. It has been the most challenging time of my life. I'm going to be honest. But here's the thing. When you think you're bored, you're actually not. It just takes time to adjust, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. You see, it doesn't matter who you are, what you did in the past. The only thing that matters is who you want to become. Who do you want to become? Whatever people think about you is none of your business. Whatever people think about you is none of your business. Do not let it get to you. Who cares? Your friends don't want the same thing that you want. Why would you care? Do you understand what I'm saying? Transformation, unfortunately, will not come from just being here this weekend. However, it is a good start. It's a very good start. But transformation doesn't come here from being here this weekend. It comes from the renewing of your mind, the renovating of your mind. Anybody here ever renovate a home? A room? Joey, I know you do this, right? A room, a kitchen, a bathroom. You have to pull some tiles off the floor. You have to rip up the floor. You have to pull some nails out. Sometimes you have to take off a roof, take out a tub, take out a bathtub, a shower, a toilet. You have to renovate. It takes time. You don't just start taking it out and you got the genie wand and you wave it and all of a sudden you have a gorgeous bathroom. Nope, doesn't happen. Sure wish we had that button though, don't you? Here's the thing, you don't have it. It takes time. And reinventing yourself will take time. It will take time. Nothing happens instantly. The other problem with social media is that we all have this expectation of instant gratification. We expect things to happen instantaneously, and folks, real life doesn't work that way. This is real life. And it's okay to use our phones, and it's okay to use our iPads, and it's okay to use our computers, but stop letting it dictate your life. Stop letting it dictate your life. Now, how are we going to work our weakness? Well, I'm going to talk to you about it today. Fast. I'm going to talk to you about it fast today. Now, you've heard my story before, right? Mine and Jared's story. We were poor. We had no money. He was mad in love with me. I can say all types of shit. He's not here right now. Excuse the French there. Anyway, my point is this. He's not here right now. He's in the back listening. He was so mad in love with me, you guys wouldn't believe. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, it was the opposite. Everybody knows on my team, they're laughing. I was mad in love with him, and I couldn't figure out why he didn't love me like that. But it took him some time. It took him some time. And our big date was on Wednesdays. On Wednesdays at Wendy's, because we didn't have any money to eat anywhere else. And they used to have this taco super bar, all you can eat, $4.99, and we went in on the tacos. They also had pasta Alfredo, and it was pretty amazing. It was pretty amazing, but here's the thing. We know what it's like to suffer. We know what it's like not to be able to make ends meet. We know what it's like when the bill collectors are calling at the end of the day. But you can't give up. You can never give up. Just like Jimmy V said, you cannot ever give up. That is so important for you to understand. You see, your past failures will not predict your future. Sometimes you're going to have to go broke. You're going to lose the person you thought you loved and watch your friends turn into foes in order to get where you're going. In order to get where you're going, your friends may turn to foes. You see, elevation requires separation. Elevation requires separation. That'll catch you on the way home. It's big. It's big, guys. You see, getting your stuff together requires such a level of honesty that we try to avoid it. Why? Because there's nothing easy about realizing that you're the one who's been holding yourself back. You're the one that's been holding yourself back, aren't you? I see you nodding with me, and I feel you. You're the one who's been holding yourself back. But it's okay. You're going to be okay. You can do this. We can do this. You see, sometimes the fear won't go away, and you're going to have to do it afraid. But that's okay, because we're going to hold your hand. That's the great thing about this atmosphere. This atmosphere is life-changing. I was talking to Andrew about this yesterday. We are not just a business platform. We are a life platform. We are a life platform. Anything you want, anything you desire can be achieved within this platform. But you may be afraid. And some of you, how many of you honestly would say you haven't done all you wanted to do because you're a little afraid? Raise your hand. I love you. I'm with you. I'm going to help you. We're going to do it together. We're going to hold your hand. We're going to hold your hand and we're going to do it together. Aren't we, Trinity? That's part of the thing. And if you don't have anyone to help you, if your sponsor's not here anymore, you write me at Loren@shop.com and we're going to help you. We're going to help you. We don't want you to be alone. That's one of the things that Mark is working on. It's a big initiative for him right now. He wants to make sure that everybody's connected to somebody and gets the help that they want. And of course, those of you in JR's trial run are living it, right? It's a big part of the process. You have to keep learning and inventing. You have to keep your eye on the target. You have to embrace the low points if you want a real competitive edge. If you want a real competitive edge, I want you to embrace the low points, because hidden in the dark times is the opportunity for growth and transformation. And you got to look, you got to pay attention, you got to search for it, and you got to know you're not alone. You may be in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. It doesn't matter what you know in this very moment. All that matters is that you care, and you do. And you do care because you're here. Every single one of you care or you wouldn't be here. Do you understand that? So I don't care what you know. If you're just here, we're going to get there. We're going to do this together, aren't we? We're going to do this together. Are you feeling me? Am I connecting with you? You got me. Are you with me over there? Yes. Are you with me? You see? Remember, what you talk about up here has to also come from here. Whatever you talk about up here has to come from here. I love you too. I love you too. I love you. Listen, both your head and your heart have to align. Remember who you are. Stop wanting to be someone else. You can do anything you want. You see, we may not be superheroes, but we have superpowers. We have superpowers. Do you know what your superpower is? I know what mine is. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. And I know what yours is. You still have air in your lungs. You're still breathing. And while you're still breathing, you can do something with it. If you're still breathing and you're still living, your best days are still ahead of you. You understand that? You feel me on that? I want to make sure, are you guys awake back there? I got you. Are you guys awake back there? Yes. You see, for all my women out there, by the way, I know a wise girl has her limits, but a smart girl knows she has none. A smart girl knows she has none. You're all smart, beautiful women. You see, most want to just be in the result. You just want to be in the result. You want it to happen for you. You want to be in the result right now and not the process. And as Lewis was so kind to demonstrate this morning that walking on stage, which is the result, is easy, isn't it, Lewis? But what it takes to get on this stage is the work. That's the process. All the hard work of everything you see when Mark Ashley presents so amazing, Steve Ashley presents so amazing, Andrew Weissman, our whole team, everything that you see happen on here is easy because it's just the result. It's what happens before we get here. That's the process. That's the hard work I need you to put in. There's no way to escape it, folks. There is no way to escape the process, is there, Edwin? No way to escape it. If you want to get the result, you got to put in the work. You see, that's like me saying, it's been 6 months since I joined the gym. It's been 6 months since I joined the gym, and I've had absolutely zero progress. No progress, David, since I joined the gym. I'm going to go there in person tomorrow and talk to them about it. You see, you can't just join the gym. You got to go to the gym. And you can't just go to the gym, right, James? You got to put the work in, like Mark said, at the gym. And let me tell you something. When we get to the pie chart in a minute, I'm going to ask you about it. One of my goals was to lose weight, to work out, to be healthier. And I struggle with that hard work because and we're going to talk about this later, always make excuses to take care of myself first so I can make sure everybody's okay. JR is okay. He takes a lot of work. A lot of work. I'm going to tell you that right now, okay? A lot of work. Look at Mark. Yes, a lot of work. Okay, that's why I told him take a nap backstage. A lot of work. My daughter, I have 3 grandchildren. I have a lot of people who depend on me. I have a company that depends on me. So I always put myself last. That's just who we are as women generally, right? We all have a tendency to do that. But in order for me to succeed at working out every day, I had to find somebody who would push me. And I found the best trainer. Edwin, you're there, right? Wave your hand to everybody. And Edwin is part of the process, but I needed another part of the process, my partner, Andrew, who is always there. He's always there. And the reason I'm going to explain this to you, listen to me carefully. Did you see them do the trial run method up here? When Trinity and Colin and all those people were talking about it? What was the one key thing that they all do? They partner up, don't they? They partner up, right, Colin? Right, Trinity? You partner up, right, Elizabeth? I needed to partner up. I needed to partner up with somebody who would hold me accountable. Somebody who would hold me accountable. Why? Because number one, let's face it, if I didn't show up for the day, I would just lose the money. Okay. For some people, that hurts a lot. For me, it didn't hurt as much. However, I need somebody to do it with me. I need somebody to motivate me, somebody to push me, somebody to hold me accountable, somebody to hold my hand and say, you can do this. So between Edwin and Andrew, we did that every day. Now, I'm not sure what's happening there with that video. Every day. And there's Steve. Yes. And here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing, guys. You don't lose weight or get fit by joining the gym. You actually do have to put in the work. I put in the work. I lost 12 pounds in 4 weeks. I lost 12 pounds in 4 weeks. I worked out so hard every day. Did I not? All my friends were there to witness it. I came in, I was drenched. Jim Winkler's shaking his head because we made him work out with Edwin the other day. He said, this guy is not normal. And he's not. When I first started working out with him, we do crazy things like that speed skating thing I do. You have no idea. If you do 3 minutes, like 30 minutes of cardio, he makes me do it for an hour. Okay? Now wait. If I say I can't do that with Edwin, you know, he wants me to do Mark does it too with him. It's impossible, right? He's the hardest you've ever had. You have to go on this balance ball with one foot, with your foot in a sling, and you have to do like 20 squats like this. You feel like you're going to fall over. And I said, Edwin, I can't do this. I can't break my leg before a convention. He said, I understand, do 20. I understand, do 20. And Mark called me the other day. And he said Maria and he had worked out with Edwin. When they got to Miami, he said, man, you aren't joking. You got the hardest trainer you could find. How are you doing this? Every single day I was doing it. Every day, 7 days a week. Our motto was no days off. No days off. Because in order to get where I wanted to go, I could not take 1 day off. 1 hour solid, and it worked. I lost 12 pounds. But Mark called me and he said, this guy's tough, man. I was working out with Edwin, and Mark is fun. Like behind the scenes, when you get a chance to hang out with Mark, Mark can be really fun, light, and loose. And he's in the gym, you know, he's flexing his muscles, things like that. Edwin's smiling because he knows, and he'll be like looking in the mirror, like doing that thing. And he's like, yo, Edwin, you know, Loren told me a lot about you. She liked to joke around with you and stuff in class. Mark was trying to catch his breath in between sets. He said, you know what I mean? I'm trying to loosen you up, man. You want to hear about this joke I got for you? He's like, no, 20. No, 20. Edwin doesn't talk much. He says a couple things. No and 20. No and 20. Those words changed my life. Thank you, Edwin. Here's the thing. You don't get fit by joining the gym. You get fit by going. Right, Tom? And the same is true for our work and our business. You must learn. You must practice. 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 You have to show up. You must show up. You cannot just join the company. You have to show up. You cannot just join the company. You must show up. You see, this atmosphere that I've talked to you about, this atmosphere is huge. It's a sanctuary. It provides protection. I always say the atmosphere that we've created, I draw a white circle of protection, Jared, and I always say that around our Marketing America family. A white circle of protection around us. Why? This is our atmosphere. This is our air. And as long as we're breathing it together, we're going to support each other and hold each other's hands. No one will fail. No one will fail. No one will fail. We're going to focus on the one step in front of us. We're going to focus on the one step in front of us, right, Mauricio? We're going to focus on the one step in front of us and not the entire staircase. Not the entire staircase. See, this year is yours. It's up to you to decide what you want to do with it. You've got to do something or nothing will happen. It will not be easy. Our mind is used to doing the same thing all the time. But we have to change our mindset. We have to change ourselves. This is the year to reinvent yourself. A little progress will go a long way as long as you do it each and every day. When you believe in enough in what you want and what you want to do, and everything is in alignment, meaning your whys, your wants, and your what, and you have a commitment to consistency, it will happen. Don't fight with life. Be a part of it. That's what I want you to do. See, the only day you're guaranteed is yesterday and right now. Nobody knew that day that my mother would die the very next day. She talked about all the things she wanted to do with her life. We don't know if there's a future, but we do know that there's a now. Don't mistake movement for achievement. Do not mistake movement for achievement. That's just being busy. Don't be faked out by that. You see, you come home sometimes, and I understand you're tired, and you plop down in the chair, and you're like, this is too much. I've been going. All day I'm exhausted. Somebody get me a drink. Where's my wife bringing me my dinner? Oh, I'm exhausted. I've been going. Doing what? Doing what? What are you doing? Are you focusing on the minors Are you focusing on the minors in your life instead of the majors? Are you focusing on the minors instead of the majors? Do you understand the difference? How do I get your brain to focus? Concentration is power. Concentration is power. We used to focus a lot more before all the screens. So here's the thing. The one thing I want you to do this year, and when you get home, in order to succeed at work, in this business, is you got to create a space for yourself. I don't care where that space is. I don't care if it's at your kitchen table. I don't care if it's in your closet on the floor. I don't care if you don't have a home office. I don't care if you put a desk in your garage and put a telephone out there. I want you to find a space where you can focus. And here's why. I want you to practice a few things. You cannot focus with that computer, that iPad, and that phone in your hand constantly. Let me tell you how I know that, because we're all abusive of it. We go home, we play with our children. Mom, watch a movie with me. Mimi, watch a movie with me. Mimi, play a game with me. And you're taking calls on your phone. And you're texting people on your phone. And you're answering emails on your phone, and in between you're looking at Instagram and Facebook. And you're not really spending time with your kids, are you? You're not really spending time with your kids because we're overstimulated by these devices. We're overstimulated, and without them, we think we're bored. But actually, our mind expands. Our mind gets bigger. And I read this case study on a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. He was 30 years in and being a $4 billion company, or a $40 billion company, huge company. Big CEO. But in 30 years, the last 10 years, they hadn't grown. And he was confused about why that happened. And he said, you know what? There's something wrong. And something sparked him to realize that he stopped thinking. He stopped thinking because he was overstimulated by the screens. And so all of the thinking had been replaced with emails, phone calls, answering back people, social media, Facebook, Instagram, following a fake life of somebody else. And he stopped thinking. And so he tried for 30 days to cut back on his devices 4 hours a day. And as I listened to this, I told you, I've now been doing this since last Friday, Andrew will tell you. And the first week, he wanted to go crazy. He was miserable. He thought he was in a deep depression. He ate more. He was bored. He didn't know what to do with himself. But by the second week, he realized he had more time to think. By the second week, he began to be creative again. By the third week, he had come up with brilliant ideas just like he had when he started his company 30 years before. Because he gave himself concentration, which is power again. The power to think again and put the device down. And put the device down. And here's the thing. I don't want you to try to work in the shower. Because we all do that, don't we? We get in the shower because it's our only time alone. And I know that Mark Ashley, he probably takes a long shower because he's in the shower trying to figure out what he's got to do for the day and try to put it in perspective. And he's worrying about the emails that he has to answer and the work that he has to do. And I got to tell you, that's no way to enjoy the process. That's no way to enjoy the ride. It's true. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to stop getting on your phone when you get in your car on the way to your work, working for somebody else right now, till you can fire your boss. Till you can fire your boss, because we're going to make sure you fire your boss. But while you're in the car on the way to work, put your phone down and enjoy the ride. And enjoy the ride. And look at the scenery around you and see what you've been missing. See what you've been missing. Do you agree we're missing out? Do you see that? Get off your phone over there. No, just kidding. You've been missing out. You can't be with the kids and be with your kids if you're on your phone. So when it's time to work, have a relationship, a conversation with your family and say, you know what, when I go over here in my little corner, I'm going to do my work. And they're going to respect that. Because when you're with them, you're going to be with them. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you? And we don't do that. Right, Xana? We don't do that. We don't find time. We're trying to be Superwoman or Superman. We are not superheroes. We're trying to do and do and do and do and do. And guess what? We're not human doings. We're human beings. We can't be everything to everyone. So go in that little corner and find your space. And when you go there, Jackie, you're going to tell them, this is my space. And when I'm here, this is where I'm going to work. And when I come out of this space, I'm yours. And when I come out of this space and I'm going to take the ride with you on the way into town, I'm not going to be on my phone because I want to enjoy the scenery. Well, I'd never seen the flowers that color before because you never got to look up. I want you to enjoy the ride, folks. I want you to be present in the present. Stop overcommitting yourself to other people when you don't want to do things with them. Who here has that problem? You say yes to everybody who calls you. It's a weakness, isn't it? I have it too. Actually, JR has it. I don't have it so much. I'm pretty good at telling people no. JR is really good. He'll say like, yeah, that sounds interesting. I'll have Andrew give you a call, and he passes it on to Andrew. And I always tell him, I'm like, JR, when you pass it on to Andrew, it's like you saying yes. So here's the better thing to do. Stop saying yes to everything that you don't want to do and start saying, no, I can't do this, but if something changes, I'll call you. If something changes, I'll call you. Write that down. This year in 2020, I'm going to start to say no to others more often unless we're building together. Unless we're building together. So you know what? No, thank you. I wish I could. If something changes, I'll give you a call. It's not so hard, is it? Not so hard. And let me tell you what else you need to do. Let me tell you what else you need to do in 2020. You need to put 90% of your time into your major. 90% of the time, you're welcome. 90% of the time into your major and 10% of your time into your minor. 10% of the time into your minor. You can grow the business a minor and major things, but you're getting confused. You see, when we say to make a names list of 100 people, you're taking major time to do that, when really it should only take minor time. It should only take minor time. The major time should be spent in front of your possibilities in order to grow your business. The major time needs to be spent in front of your possibilities in order to grow your business. Minor time happens when you create the list of those 100 people that you're going to talk to about the business. Don't major in minor things. If you take major time in minor things, you're always going to be behind the curve. You're always going to be behind the curve. Always know what you want to achieve. Without a why, you'll never find your how. Without a why, you'll never find your how. Without a destination, you'll never end up very far. Without measure, you'll waste resources. Without a purpose, you'll have meaningless work. Your limitations are in your head and not in the hand you've been dealt. Nope, they're not in the hand you've been dealt. You may not always be able to accomplish your goals, but if you don't aim for something, you'll hit nothing. You can do this. I know you can. You can do this. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's not yet come. We only have today. We only have today, and you got to start living your life like every moment matters. Because guess what? It does. It does. You see, perhaps power is letting go of the grip. Perhaps power is letting go of the grip of the past and standing empty-handed facing your future. Empty-handed facing your future and ready. That's power. Do you feel me? If you're brave enough to let go of your past and face your future, you're free to live your present. You see, the future ain't what it used to be. The future ain't what it used to be. And those who only look to the past are certain to miss the future. You see, that's right. They're certain to miss the future. Only when we're no longer afraid do we begin to live. Don't worry about what anyone else is going to do. Only worry about what you're going to do. People will say, oh, they laugh at me because I'm different. Why am I doing this? And I'll laugh at them because you know what? They're the same. They're all the same. They're all the same. And when somebody comes up to me and says, Loren, you've changed. You've changed. I look at them dead in the eye and I say, it's your turn. It's your turn. You're damn right I changed. It's your turn. Don't you let anybody tell you who you're supposed to be. You stand up for yourself. The struggle you are in today is the developing strength you will need for tomorrow. The struggle you're in today is the strength you're gonna need tomorrow, folks. It's part of the process. There's no way to escape it. If you're facing in the right direction, do not look right or left. Just keep going forward. Keep going forward. And your atmosphere must complement your commitment. Your atmosphere must complement your commitment. You are here this weekend. You are beginning 2020 with the transformation of your life. You cannot leave here without getting a ticket for August. You cannot leave here without getting a ticket for your local event. You cannot leave here without getting the ticket to the August convention. If you do, you're not committed. And I'm not trying to tell you that to go buy tickets. You must see the future. You must say, this is where I'm going. You see, self-discipline begins with the mastery of thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you cannot control what you do. You cannot control what you do. If you cannot control what you think, you cannot control what you do. The reason why we have these events is to control the atmosphere. I asked you last year, what was more important? Someone's attitude? Could you change someone's attitude? What was more important, attitude or atmosphere? And we got it, didn't we? A lot of people picked up on the whole atmosphere thing and it started to spread, and now it's contagious. And we're contagious. And we're using that to gain people, because we can't change people's attitude, can we, Colton? But we can put them in the right atmosphere. And that helps them change their attitude, doesn't it? And that's why you stay within the atmosphere. That's why I never expand my circle outside the atmosphere. You will always find me right here with you. You will always find Mark right here with you. You will always find this corporate team right here with you. This atmosphere is our air. It's the air we breathe together. It's the space we control together. You cannot infiltrate our circle. You are not allowed in, strangers out there. You can only come in if you want to breathe this air, the air of an entrepreneur, the air of success, the air of somebody who's fighting their way to the top, the air of somebody who's going to do it, the air who's going to do it, the people who are going to change the way they live. I'm going to do it. Stop sucking my breath. You can't be a part of anything we do. If you want to come in here, you're going to breathe the air of successful entrepreneur, of people holding hands. People holding hands, fighting for each other, believing in each other, Believe that we can do it together. Nobody will be left alone. Nobody will be left alone. Nobody will be left alone. I love that. You can stand as many times as you want. Just so you guys know, I still have 25 more minutes. I'm looking for people to build with me, to dream with me. How many of you are looking for people to build with you, to dream with you? What's the best way to get them? By bringing them into the atmosphere, right, David Whited? All you have to do is bring them in this atmosphere. All you have to do is bring them in the atmosphere. You don't even have to say anymore. If you don't know what to say, bring them here. If you don't know what to say, bring them here. Right, Jackie? Yes. If you don't know what to say, Tom, what do you do? Bring him here. That's right, you bring him here. That's why I don't want you to leave without your ticket. That's why I don't want you to go home without an extra one for somebody. I want you to bring them here. I don't want you to stress it. You see, people don't make it because they have conflicts in their wants and whys. They have conflicts with their wants and whys. You see, what they say they want is different than their why. And when they're not aligned, it doesn't work. They must work. It's not full-time, it's not part-time, it's what you do with your time. You understand? You have to remember who you're speaking to in life. I have to jump way ahead because I'm way behind, and we're never going to get there, so I'm going to jump us way ahead. I love you. Thank you for that. You're right on time. Let me jump ahead because I don't want to mess anybody up or make anybody mad back there. By the way, we're at the start of a new year, and I know many people write down their goals for the new year, what their goals and dreams are, what they plan to do. I stopped doing that. I started writing down the things I'm going to stop doing. I start writing down the things I'm going to stop doing. Because by January 2nd, most people forget what they wanted to start. By January 2nd, tell the truth. How many of you started out with a goal and you forgot it? It's okay, I did too. So I started to write down the things I'm going to stop so I can make room for the things I want to start. You understand? I'm making room. In 2020, I'm moving into 2020 with 2020 vision. Yes, we are, baby. We're moving into 2020 with 2020 vision. You cannot be what you don't see. You cannot be what you don't see. You will only associate yourselves with people who will build and honor your boundaries, hold you accountable, and respect your no. Otherwise, eliminate them. You see all these people up here? I don't have time to go through it. That these are the types of toxic people. I named them. They reminded me of people I knew. I named them all. Adrian, Mike, Susie, Chuck, Ashley, Timmy. One's the fake complimenter, the person who gives you fake compliments, the energy drainer. They make you feel tense. They put you down for no reason. They can't be happy for others' good fortune. Or Susie, the pessimist. She talks down. By the way, if there's any Susies in here, I'm not offense to you. It's just I knew a Susie who was a pessimist. She talks down to you. She makes herself feel better by talking down to you. Only cares about themselves. The criticizer. Somebody who will never support anything you do and always find criticism in everything you do. The manipulator. Someone who tries to control everything. Pretends to like you and other people. Or the poor me. The poor victim. Blames everyone for their misfortunes. Talks mostly about their excuses for failing. If you know somebody like that, the reason why this chart is up here, and I don't normally put my presentations in the back office. We're going to put some of these back there. I want you to be able to pull from this, and I want you to put this by your office so you can remind yourself with a big X that these people are not allowed into your atmosphere. They're not allowed into your atmosphere. They're not allowed into your air. The problem is that a lot of you believe, and I don't mean you because you're here. A lot of people believe the wrong things. Maybe the wrong people are influencing your thinking. Maybe the wrong people are influencing your thinking. You need to check your circle. Someone say check your circle. If I cut you off, chances are you gave me the scissors. You gave me the scissors. Stay with me. Stay with me. Check your circle. Someone say check your circle. We're going to do that. Don't you love a person who does this? Take my advice. I'm not using it. It's another X. The person who tells you what you should do but don't follow their own rules. Sorry, I don't want your advice. I don't want it. You see, everyone can tell you that there's a risk in this business, but an entrepreneur will see the reward. I want you to see the reward with me. Do you see it? Do you see the reward? Stay away from negative people. They have a problem for every solution. If you have a problem with me, I tell people. If you have a problem with me, I tell people, call me. If you don't know my number, that means you don't know me well enough to call me. And guess what? They ain't got your number, do they? They ain't got your number, Stacy. You stay away from those people. Either I grow with you or I'm going to outgrow you. But I am not standing still for anyone. I refuse to stand still for anyone. And guess what? It's okay to unfollow friends in real life. It's okay to unfollow friends in real life. I unfollow people all the time. I check out. And by the way, when I check out, everybody knows I check right out. I put a block. You know, you can take your phone numbers and you can block people's numbers. I block them. Why? Because I don't want the negativity in my life. Everybody who's friends with me knows that I keep such a tight circle around me. I only want friends who will push me, who will elevate me, who will lift me up, who bring us up, right? We don't want anybody else around us. We need people supporting us. There's too much hate in this world. I don't like it. I refuse to be a part of it. Stay in the atmosphere with me. Stay here with me. Stay here with me. Stay here with me. Stay in this atmosphere with me. Stay with me. Don't leave me. You stay right here. You stay right here. You stay right here. You stay right here. I love you. I see you right there, Tom Holden. One day or day one, it's your decision. I learned to stop fighting battles with people who are at war with themselves. Stop going and fighting battles with people who are at war with themselves. You'll never win. You're wasting your time. You're one choice away from the true person you were meant to become. I hope this weekend you made the choice to go home and do something with it. I know you didn't come here just to get rah-rahed up. You came here because you want transformation. Listen, when things don't happen that you set out to happen, what happened? Life. It's not your fault. It is your fault, though, if you don't pick yourself back up and keep going. It is your responsibility to get back up and keep on going. You see, there are ups and downs in life, and we have to remember to honor and commit to our commitments. And you know why we're sometimes afraid? Because we know the only person that we ever break commitments on is ourselves. You'll show up for the party you don't want to go to. You'll show up for the event that you could care less about. But when it comes to hitting 2020 with 2020 vision, you'll cancel the commitment on yourself first. And that's not what I want you to do. Because I explained to you, time is short. And I don't want you to have to learn the lesson that I had to learn by losing my mother at the age of 42. I want you to keep going. I don't want you to quit. I don't want you to quit. I'm moving forward fast. I got to keep going. I got to figure out where I'm going to get to. Hold on. Let me move ahead because I'm all over the place right now. I told you. I love you too. I love you too. I want to let you guys know something. I really believe, and maybe some of you agree, that there's been a shift in the perception of people for 2020. I really believe that everyone can do the business, but not everybody will. There's an awareness, though, since 2020, now more than ever, that people are actually starting to change. They realize they need a new way. They're looking for a better way. They know they can't rely on what they're used to relying on to. They actually want more. They want a life. Don't you feel that change a little bit, the shift? It's kind of crazy, but it's true. You see, they're tired of fighting in traffic. They're tired of going nowhere. They're tired of being on the hamster wheel. And they're starting to figure out, what's the meaning of my life? Is the meaning of our life only for a daily life? Is the meaning of our life only for a daily life? When I say a daily life, I mean to get up, go to work, feed the kids, get in the car, fight traffic, go home, feed the kids, feed the hubby, go to bed, watch a TV show, whatever it is. That's the daily life. Is that what our life is supposed to be made of just? Or is it supposed to be, no, that's right. Is it supposed to be a meaningful life? We're at the tipping point. I can feel it. We're at the tipping point. People are starting to feel it with us. You see, I believe this business is more than a business platform. As I told you, I believe it's a life platform. I believe it's a life platform. It allows you to create and design our life the way we want to live it. You've witnessed it all weekend from all walks of life. You see them and you want to be like them and you want to act like James and Marion and be like Elizabeth, but you never saw their struggles to get here. You only witnessed their strength. Everybody has weaknesses. Everybody has strengths. And we're going to work with them, aren't we? I'm probably never going to get to the work your weakness segment. But that's okay. We're going to get somewhere, right? Are we having fun? Are you learning something? Are you learning something? Listen, I know I can always just save it for next time, right? You got to have a why, folks. You got to have a why. You got to know what your why is. You see, when I started out in this business with Mark and Steve and JR, I was 18 years old. And I'm not embarrassed to tell you, I wasn't sure what my why was. I was a little confused. And JR looked at me in front of Mark and Steve, and he said, "What's your why, Loren?" And at the time, I wanted a Louis Vuitton bag really bad. I really wanted this Louis Vuitton bag really, really bad. And I didn't have the extra money to buy it. And it goes back and it makes me laugh because it was actually my first motivator. But here's the thing. Wanting that Louis Vuitton bag wasn't the reason I kept going. That Louis Vuitton bag wasn't going to keep me fighting for my dreams. It didn't move me. It didn't pick me up when I was feeling down. But I did get the purse, though. I did get the purse, though. Thank you to Market America. You see, once I realized that it was deeper than a purse, it truly changed my life. You see, I realized I needed Market America. I needed the friends. I needed the unity. I needed to feel the amazing community of people. I needed that. It was the light that actually changed my life. And yes, the money's great, isn't it, David? Isn't it, Stacy and Colton? And if you like the money, we'll chat with you about that later. But what I'm really trying to say to you is this. Market America can change your life for a lot more reasons than just money. Market America can change your life for a lot more reasons than money. Yeah, for a lot more reasons than money. I finally got the purse, and I get it. It's you. It's you. It's us, isn't it? It's us. It's both. It's all of it. It's a life platform, David. It's not a business platform. Andrew looked at me in the eye yesterday and said, God, I love the life platform. Loren, you're right. And it is. That's who we are. That's who we are. And so you know what? I told you about the pie chart last time. If you didn't do it, I don't have time to go through all this with you. Please do it for me. You need to know what you want, why you want it, in order to get what you want. I need you to do this. I'm so glad I moved you. I feel you. Love you. I feel your tears. I feel all of you right now. I want you to do this bad. I want you to do it more than you want it. I want you to stop procrastinating. I want you to get where you want to be. I want to break it down for you, and I don't have time. Here's the thing. I want you to set your goals. I want you to be brave. I want you to keep going. You see, we're born into a society that has given us rules, regulations, policies, structure, compliance, and standards since the time we have been born. And it sucks. It sucks. And I don't like it. Let me tell you something. Rules and regulations and procedures have held us down our whole life. Don't hold down your children that way. Don't do that to them, because when they're little, they fly. Be a fireman, Daddy. Daddy, I want to be an astronaut. I want to go to the moon. You can do anything you want, son. Mama, I want to be a teacher. Great. Mama, I want to be a doctor. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to worry about being a nurse. If you want to be a doctor, you be a doctor. You want to be a nurse, be a nurse. You can do anything you want. The problem is we're born into a society that has rules and regulations, and because of it, we start to limit people's dreaming. We start to limit people's dreams, and we got to stop doing that. We got to be open to possibility. We got to start talking to people like we talk to our friends. When Colton was up here yesterday with Trinity, they were talking about talking in themes. Do you understand? All they were saying was they want you to talk to people like you talk to your friends. When you talk to your friends, you're telling a story. You're having a conversation. It's a story. Stop not being you when you're in front of strangers. Be you and be brave. Everybody expects everything to happen so fast. Everybody wants the business to take off right away. And let me tell you something. I understand. You want it to happen right now, but things take time. So does falling in love. It could be 5 days, 5 months, 5 years. You can't measure it. It happens when it happens, doesn't it, Tom? 5 days for you, though. I get it. Here's the thing. You got to be consistent. It will happen for you. I know, I love you. 5 days is good, though. That's good. Good stuff. It can happen, by the way. It does. Listen to me carefully. Not everyone will join you. Doesn't matter. Not everyone will go on this crazy journey with you and see your vision. Not everyone will go to work with you. But you don't need them anyway. You don't need them anyway. You don't need them anyway. Here's the funny thing. This was in the newspaper the other day. It said the top 10 things people are afraid of, Mark, in the Wall Street Journal. Number 10 was that USA will have another war. Number 6 was people were afraid of dying. And number 1 was public speaking. That means that people would rather die before they publicly speak. Go figure. Go figure. Life is too short to suffer. As you think, so you shall be. As you think, so you shall be. Have a mind that's open to anything but attached to nothing. Sacrifice what you are for who you will become. Practice, practice, practice. You're already in pain. Let's get a reward for it. Let's get a reward for it. I don't want you to be a victim. I want you to have the mentality of a winner. That's what I want you to do. I want you to stop being too proud and saying you can figure this out on your own. I don't need any help. Yo, bro, I got a dream. I don't need your help. I'm going to make it no matter what. No, bro, you're going to need some help. You're going to need some help, and we're here to give it to you. We're going to give it to you. Every single person, join someone's hand and help them. Okay? That's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to do. Here's the truth about your weakness. I'm going to end on time. I got 6 minutes. I know it says 5, but I don't have my glasses on. I think it says 6:33. Anyway, here's the straight truth. Here's the straight truth. Your biggest weakness has become your security blanket. And it's preventing you from achieving your full potential. Turn it into a force of good. Here's how I want you to do that. If your weakness is being disorganized, or you're self-critical, or you know what, you're shy and you don't do well in front of people, or you have limited experience, or you're not skilled at delegating tasks, or you lack focus, I want you to write them down. Not now, tonight. And if you're not sure what your weaknesses are, I've already told you. Call the closest person to you, they'll be happy to tell you. It's a true story. But at the same thing, on that reverse side of the paper, I want you to write down your strengths. I want you to write down your strengths, because we're going to use our strengths to build our weakness. You see, life is a process, and we're not there yet, and we never will be. You know, how many of you online shop? I hope all of you, right? Because that's what we do. Right? So you online shop, and what happens when you online shop? You buy something, and after you buy it, you get an email, and most often you get a tracking number of where your package is. And when you get a tracking number, it means your package is in transit. And that's exactly what happens when your life is on track to make it. You're in transit. You're on track to get exactly where you want to be. And becoming is not about the arrival. It's about the journey. It's about the process. That's the hard work. And while we're in transit, we stay in this atmosphere. We stay with each other. Our life will always be in transit on the way to our arrival. But we will be better every single day, because we're going to do the things that we need to do in order to change. You see, your best days are not behind you. If there's air in your lungs, you're still breathing, you're still living, your best days have yet to come. You understand that your best days have yet to come. It is totally possible. It is totally possible. It is totally possible to struggle while you're becoming. It's totally possible, isn't it, Colton? And you did it, and look at you now. And look at you now, baby, on the way. So proud of you, so happy for you. So happy for you. Our deficiencies definitely should not delay our destiny. We all have gaps. And the first step to, and I'm going to jump this whole session, I'll hit it at August with you. The first step I want you to do in overcoming your weakness is to admit you have one. It's to admit you have one. We're too embarrassed, too proud, and we feel too exposed to admit that we have a problem. We all have weaknesses, every single one of us, and we always will. And as long as we're fighting to be better and working our weakness and turning them into strength, we'll get better. You see, my husband knows all of my weaknesses, the ones I don't tell you. He knows everything, the ones I don't share with you. And you see, he has the potential to harm me in the worst way because of it. So he actually doesn't just have a gun. He has an arsenal in a closet of weapons against me. Why? Because he knows all my mistakes. He knows all my struggles, my weaknesses that I don't tell you. And he actually may have the potential to harm me in the very worst way. But here's the thing, if that's true, he also has the ability to help me in the best way. He also has the ability to help me in the best way. Listen to me, if you don't expose your weakness, don't expect anyone to encourage it either. Work your weakness. Don't deny it. I'm going to move forward on this really fast. You're going to see, team, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be on time. Admit it. Ask yourself 3 questions. Write these down and record me if you're not writing. These are the 3 things I want you to ask yourself at the end of the day in order to work your weakness. First one to do is to admit it and face it. The second one is to say, I want you to tap into why you want to change that weakness and what will happen in your life when you do. What will happen in your life when you do overcome that weakness? What will it do for your life? How will your life be different? For instance, if you're afraid to show the plan and you learn how to show the plan, what would that do for your business? I want you to ask yourself these questions, and then I want you to write down your strengths. List them down, and ask several people around you what they perceive to be your 3 to 5 top strengths, because we're going to use those things to overcome our weakness. That's what we're going to do. The process will not be easy. It's about facing fears and what makes you feel vulnerable and working hard to overcome which makes you feel weak. It's change, and that's scary. And that's scary, and I want you to understand, I can't even go through any of this, but that's okay. I don't know why I got stuck for so long. I hope it doesn't matter, because I hope you got something out of this. When you compare yourself to others, you will feel like less. Stop doing that to yourself. Don't compare your becoming to someone else's becoming. This race is yours, and your race is different. Don't look left, don't look right. You stay straight ahead. You with me on that? Working your weakness will keep you humble. Working your weakness will keep you humble. You are always going to be in the process. Distance creates distortion. Distance creates distortion. Proximity brings perspective. Get closer. Get close to it. It's not as scary as you think. When we're far away from it, woof. When I looked at that plane from my house in the Bahamas and I looked down that runway, I thought I'm never going to make it. But as I got closer, it wasn't so scary. Proximity brings perspective. And you know what? It's not your fault if you have a weakness. Now, I know that 6 minutes didn't disappear that fast, did it? Because I see 0 on the clock and I'm taking 4 extra minutes. Let me just say this. There are people, I love you guys. There are people who are supposed to care for us, and they contribute to our weakness as we're children. They contribute to our weakness. Weakness was introduced to you in life by other people. We have a valid reason for having those weaknesses, but they can no longer be our excuses. No longer be our excuses. It's crippled you. I don't care if your mother taught it to you, your father taught it to you, your brother, your cousin, your best friend. You may feel weak because of what somebody else did to you, but it is not warranted. You are not weak. I want you to stop acting strong. I want you to be strong. I want you to stop acting. You see, I'm going to have to stop this and I'll save a lot of this. Let me say this. I talked to this woman who was an addict her whole life. From the age of 8 years old, she was drinking alcohol. By the time she was 11, she was taking drugs. She numbed her life. We're taught our whole life to walk around when somebody says, "How are you, David?" What's your answer? I'm fine. I'm good. Our whole life we walk around saying, "I'm fine, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm good," and we're not good. Don't you suppress your feelings. This girl was an alcoholic and a drug addict, and from the age of 8 years old till the time she was in high school, Andrew will tell you, he saw it too and heard the whole story. 8 years old till high school, she was a drug addict and an alcoholic. Finally, she was tired of suppressing her feelings. Finally, she was tired of saying, I'm fine. So she went to a guidance counselor. And she said, I'm not fine. I need help. And the guidance counselor called her parents, called the police, and they sent her to a mental institution. Now listen to me. For the first time in her life, she got to that mental institution and she took that superhero cape off that she'd been wearing her whole life, pretending she was fine. And for the first time in her life, people held her hand and asked her if she was okay. For the first time in her life, she had feelings and they mattered to people. And she told me she realized that the big, ugly, scary world is really outside. That's where the crazy people live. And I started to break down. And I started to realize how much people need us. We are the answer for people. We can allow people to take their cape off and say, it's okay not to be okay. We have to help people because nobody else will. She did really well through her care. She was able to talk about how she felt, and people finally cared. And she said when she went out to the big world after that, that was the predictable world, the crazy world, the scary world, the place she felt unsafe, because the life she created for herself was the dark, controllable world. But you know what? You know what it proves? That you have to be yourself. You have to stop suppressing your feelings. Let me tell you something. It's much braver to be Clark Kent than it is Superman. It's much braver to be Clark Kent than Superman. I don't want you to act strong. I want you to be strong. I don't want you to act strong. I want you to be strong. I want you to stop posting photos of you and your husband saying, oh, look at our life, it's so great, and yet you haven't talked in 2 weeks. Don't act anything. Don't act strong, be strong. Don't act strong, be strong. That's what I want you to do. Stop punishing your children. Let me tell you what that means. It means I want you to discipline your children. Punishing is acting strong. Punishing is acting strong. Discipline is being strong. My husband has always disciplined our daughter, but has never punished her, because punishment is only acting strong. Discipline is being strong. You must know the difference. When someone is what they are, they don't have to act like they ain't. When someone is what they are, when someone is what they are, they don't have to act like they ain't. I am what I is. I am what I is. Be authentic. Don't try to do everything. Don't try to do everything. I'm just gonna be. I'm just gonna be. I'm just gonna be. Because we're so caught up in what we're doing that we forget that we're human beings and not human doings. And I want you to think about that. I want you to stop being a human doing. That's what I want you to do. You got to go to war with your weakness. Got to be like this little girl here, but take off your cape and be yourself. You're going to have to be yourself. We are born to make our unknown known. We have to tell the truth. Actually, I'm not fine as I told you. I want you to be yourself. And I don't want you to be afraid. And here's the thing, I want you to stop procrastinating. Here's the thing that you do all the time. And I'm going to move forward ahead in my funny slides. I'm skipping all this, so just stand by. I went the other day and I asked my brain doctor if he could let me see what it looked like inside a procrastinator's brain. Can you let me see a scan of a procrastinator? And he said, yes. And this is what it looked like. A brain with a little clown inside, the guy who clowns around. And see, there's two people inside your brain right now. One is a forward thinker, and one's the other guy who's the clown around guy, right? He's the guy who always wants to have the easy, fun route. And the other side of your brain is always telling you, I got to be forward thinking. These are the things I got to do. Well, what's going on? Well, the clown guy only cares about two things, easy and fun. The other guy's a rational decision maker. And here's the thing, he sees the big picture. He knows what he wants, and he wants to do whatever he can to make it right. Now, sometimes these two people agree on the same thing. Now, these two people are in your brain. Don't get confused. These two people are in the brain, and sometimes you want the same thing. It's time to go to bed. You may agree that it's time to go to bed. Time to watch TV. You both agree it's okay. But most often, you don't agree. And it's very confusing. Very confusing. And it's hard. It's very hard. And it's what creates conflict. And here's the thing. The procrastinator, he spends a lot more time in the easy and fun circle, the leisure activities. How do we ever get to the hard things in life? It's so much more fun. Like this guy right now, ooh, I almost fell. Just kidding. It's going to be a great day, your brain says. And the clown says, it sure is. Let's go clown around and have fun. And he says, well, I can't clown around and have fun because JR says I have to give him my names list. I got to write down 100 possibilities. We can't put it off anymore. We got to do it. And he says, you're right. I'm going to add it to our inbox tomorrow. That's what clown around says. The next day comes. And your brain says, I can't think of doing anything today except making that names list for JR. And clown around says, good idea. Let's think about him and we'll write him down tomorrow. Isn't that what happens? And before you know it, clown around wins. We have to make that list for 100 people for JR. He's going to not work with us anymore. But clown around says, oh my God, did you see what Prince Harry did? He decided that he didn't want to be a prince anymore. What's up with Harry? What's wrong with Harry? And the brain says, what? Let me see that. What are you talking about? Let me see that. And guess what? Clown around wins. And though it's funny, it's true, isn't it? Clown around takes over and you lose. Here's the thing, folks. And there, by the way, I'll talk about the third person in your brain next time. I don't have time. I'm out of time and I'm going to get in big trouble. Let me just say this, and I thank you. Nobody gave me the 5 minutes, so don't blame me. I want you to do something with your life. I want you to work your weakness. I want you to realize that you can be and do anything you want. I want you to go into 2020 with 2020 vision. I want you to know that this atmosphere is here for you. I want you to know that this atmosphere is safe. This atmosphere belongs to you. If you want to do what you finally want to do, you got to get up and just do it. You got to get up and do it. You got to give it all you got. You can't be afraid of your weakness. Stop being afraid of your weakness. Turn your passion, turn your fears into your power. Make it your power. Start concentrating. Stop just doing and start being. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much.